Where's the other one? Sestic. Hold on now. We needs to find it because it's here somewhere. This is what I want you all to pay attention to. Ladies and gentlemen, the term sesticate wasn't even used at this period, especially the term sesticate V. Sesticate V didn't start to be used until, well, let the idiot tell you, because that's what I asked him.
What?
I told him, I said, I need him to explain the earliest origins of the use of the canons. And remember, now, he going to tell you right here, 4,000 BCE, or before our common era. People say before Christ's execution, but it's before our common era. Error, Brer Robinson. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, 4,000 BC. Now that's a long way back. That's around the very same time that Moses, no it isn't, Moses wrote the scriptures in, 1473 BCE, or something to that effect. Now, 4,000 BCE, not happening. But if that's what they want to say. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, no sesticate at that time. Not even the use of sesticate.
Right, because it was in 1666.
Sesticate. Okay, you're Cadian.
1666 was when they.
That civilization is extinct. No doubt. Perished in the flood. Perished in thought. I'm kidding. And with that being the case, ladies and gentlemen, the canon didn't use the sesticate. Didn't talk about birth certificates because there was no such thing at that time. Hold on. No, I want you to pay attention.
1834.
The canon would not have spoken of birth certificates because the canon comes from a civilization that is extinct. They would never have spoke about birth certificates. But wait, hold on. But remember, they said it was positive law canon, and they gave the phrase as to what type of canon it was. Okay, so pay attention. The tablets were discovered in the ruins of the city of the poor.
Why is he going so far?
Which is a major center of Ukrainian civilization. Civilization. It's just so simple. Anyway, so, ladies and gentlemen.
What is he talking about? Canadian?
This is why you must do your research. See, when I was first told this, people were telling me about these canons. I'm like, but. And they're like, don't be butting me. And I'll be like, mother, I'll butt whoever I want to butt. Mother, butt me. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, after we had that conversation, I still didn't buy into it. So somebody sent me a copy of it today. And I said, I'm going to put it in the chat GPT because I'm going to find the origins. Now, at first, he told me there was no such thing. It didn't exist anywhere. So I went over to perplexity.com. And Perplexity did a search for me. See? Perplexity did a search. This is the phrase right here. Canonum, D-E, los, L-U-S, positivum.
Canons of positive law.
Positivum. The canon of positive laws.
Okay.
Sorry. I have 2 headsets on, so I can't hear around me. No, it's even better because I lifted the other one up. And this is the phrase. This is one website. This is 2 websites. It says, and I can't stand that site. And here is the One Heaven.
Oh, One Heaven.
So there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, impossible for it to include language about birth certificates or cesticate trust about proper endorsements because they weren't doing them 4,000 years ago. Don't even think about it. Sorry, don't even speculate. See.
Why are you talking about 4,000?
Such was 1,000 years ago.
What?
In the way it is written today.
What are you talking
Impossible. Impossible It's just impossible. Okay, impossible, ladies and gentlemen. Impossible. So with that being the case, y'all got to stop being so gullible. Okay, because you're getting on my last nerve.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Stuff. Right.
Who said anything about going back 4,000 BCE?
Certificates are on bond paper.
Uh-huh.
Birth certificates are security. Birth certificates can be converted into a security.
Yes, I know that.
Birth certificates can be endorsed. There is nothing in law saying they can't be. This is not a legal doctrine or a legal theory. Any instrument can be converted into a security. Any piece of paper can be converted into a security. Go ahead. Okay, watch this.
Wait a minute. The thing is that I called the sec today, and I told that to the guy, you know, to whistle blow with the sec, and he said, no, birth certificate is not a bond. I said, it's on bond paper. He said, that, no. I'm going to have it on my iPad. Why do they put these peons in these positions and then they just lie to you, or they just tell you whatever? I mean, I want to hear what he has to say, but I just heard this morning what that other guy from the sec said. So let me just look at what EEon is bringing up here with this one heaven and the Canon 3:357. Let me just see. Beginning in 1834. Okay, I don't know why he went all the way back to 4,000 BCE. I don't know why he went that far. When it says beginning in 1834, a number of historic changes were introduced to the record: keeping of births, deaths, and marriages, the issuance of documents, and the management of the poor. In 1834, British Parliament introduced the Poor Law Amendment Act 1834, which reorganized the Church of England parishes into unions, which would then be responsible for the poor in their area and administered by a board of poor law guardians, also known as the Board of Guardians. The clerks of magistrates' courts still hold the power of a clerk of the Board of Guardians. Ugh. And two, in 1835, the Municipal Corporations Act 1835 was introduced, which effectively standardized the corporate model for towns and boroughs, including making the municipality with elected officials responsible for data collection and service administration. And three, in 1836, the Births and Deaths Registration Act of 1836 was introduced, which for the first time created the General Register Office and the requirement for uniform records of births, deaths, and marriages across the empire by municipal councils and unions of parishes. Thus, on the 1st of July, 1837, the birth certificate was formed as the successor of the settlement certificate for all paupers disenfranchised of their land, birthright, to be considered lawful, voluntary slaves, with benefits provided by the local parish region, underwritten by the Society of Lloyds, as it is still today. A settlement certificate, huh? Well, I want to look at that certificate. Oh, one heaven. United Society of Free States of Spirits, huh? Wow, what's that all about? From the 14th century Latin certificare. Did you guys make a mistake? Did you mean to say certificate? Meaning, literally, to give permission. allow in dispute and contention. Yes, suffer means allow. From Latin, surdo, to contend, settle, dispute, to settle by combat, to give permission to experience, suffer, troubles. Well, they're saying suffer means troubles. I get that. But the Old English suffer means allow. In modern legal terms, a document containing a certified statement or evidencing ownership or debt. All right, let me see. What is a settlement? In reference to this instrument, the full process of administration. Yeah, distribution and closing of the entire estate. How do we close the estate? From 14th century French, estate of, there's another typo. What's wrong with these people? A physical condition as regards form or structure of country, supreme civil power and or government as a personality itself, from 13th century Latin, status meaning state. Circumstances, conditions, and or temporary attributes of a person or thing, from 15th century estate, acquire the additional meaning, property, assets attributed or attributed to a person or thing subject to higher legal authority. The entire known and unknown estate of first name, second name, of the clan, family name, also known as the first, middle, and last name, and all variations thereof. Whoa, let me look at what is this prayers thing all about. What is this? Prayers by issue type. Oh, let's see. Oh, discrimination. Financial and legal stress. Let's go with that one. Call for those facing court, facing legal and financial corruption. Hey, these are literal prayers. Okay. Let not the actions of the wicked and ignorant steal away my love for you. For you are my rock, my strength, and my reason. You are the law and the truth. And if it be your will that I stand in the same shadow as your son and bear witness to the evils of corrupt men, then I pray you send me your finest angels. Ooh, the finest ones, not the bad ones. The finest angels to stand beside me, so that all who are in this court this day shall know your presence by the blinding light that surrounds me. Thank you then for the honor of bearing witness to the truth. That is and will only ever be one true law. What kind of a prayer is that? I mean, I don't get it. Is this something that you say when you're in the courts? Or what is that prayer thing? What is this about? So Franco Collins is the author. What is all this stuff? So well, let me just look at moving places and travel. Okay, let me look at that. May the road rise up to meet you. Oh, come on. What is this website? What is this? Okay, wait. What is this oneheaven.org thing? United Society of Free States of Spirits. All right, whatever. So we were just looking at these canons here because EEon just put up his video, and I thought I was just about to open up my video here, and I started listening to that, and I'm like going, what is he saying? I'm gonna have to follow what he's saying here. So we're supposed to what? Look up the Canon 3357. It is talking about Your birth certificate, death certificate, marriages, the issuance of documents, and the management of the poor. Okay, well, so the birth certificate was formed as the successor of the settlement certificate for all paupers, poor people, disenfranchised. Okay. Are we disenfranchised because they use the all caps name for their franchise and we haven't used it for ours? I mean, if I have claimed my all caps name, but I need to know how to operate as a franchise then, I guess. Of their land birthright to be considered lawful, voluntary slaves with benefits provided by the local parish region underwritten by the Society of Lloyds. Interesting. Oh boy, look at this, you guys. 3359 since 1990 under the United Nations and the World Health Organization, who, by the Convention on the Rights of the Child, the system of issuing birth certificates as proof of a man or woman being a permanent member of the underclass, has become an international system. So are they saying that the upper class people aren't issued birth certificates? Is that what they're saying? Here's another Canon 3360. One fundamental flaw that remains within the settlement birth certificate system for the Roman cult and its agents remains the fact that a settlement certificate is proof that a man or woman must have been born on the land. Aha. For the certificate to have effect. Regardless of convoluted subsequent presumptions of what the certificate actually represents, if a man or woman was not born on the land somewhere, a certificate could not be issued. Therefore, any rejection or return of a birth certificate serves as a perfected evidence that a man or woman was born on the land and support to any affidavit of truth concerning their immutable rights from the divine creator. What if you were born inside of the water, like in a jacuzzi? What if you were born on an airplane in the air? I'm just wondering. All right, what is this Canon 3361? What are these Canon things all about? As settlement certificates and later birth certificates are solely and purposely designed to disenfranchise men and women from their rightful inheritance through voluntary enslavement and admission to being paupers, the system of birth certificates is wholly without legitimacy. A global system of organized fraud, halal, and crime, and without lawful effect. Canon 3362, as birth certificates and their use are a deliberate corruption of all forms of law, philosophy of law, and application of law. The system is reprobate. Hello, of course it is. Forbidden and never permitted to be revived. And what are these canons? What canons are these? What exactly is this canon? Well, yeah. Corruption of law. What is that? 7 under 7 law. Corruption of law. Yeah. Okay, Canon 3347, a settlement certificate, also known as a birth certificate since 1837, is an official document issued to validly, I think they spelled that wrong. I don't know, validly recorded poor paupers, granting them certain basic rights and entitlement to benefits in exchange for recognition of their status as being owned as property and lawful slaves, also known as indentured servants and bondsmen. Obviously, get it? A bond, birth certificate bond, bondsman, yeah. A settlement, therefore, is equivalent to a voluntary slave plantation. Oh, a place is a settlement. Wow. That's wild. Oh my goodness, we are slaves. When you say, hey, let's settle this matter, Your Honor, Your Horner, I'd like to settle this matter. Oh my goodness. We are slaves. I can see that. That's terrible. Settlement, therefore, is equivalent. It's the same to a voluntary slave plantation. That's why I don't want to go to the courts, because I don't find that they have jurisdiction over me. They might claim to have jurisdiction, claiming if I'm a resident, I'm a res, I'm property. You got a birth certificate? Yeah. There is like no justice. How do we get justice? I'd like to know. Well, I guess I'll go back to listening to what EEon is trying to say, but I thought it was kind of funny. I don't know, I was just about to start the I wasn't knowing what I was going to talk about. And I heard EEon, I saw his thing pop up on my notifications, and I thought, let's see what this silly guy is going to talk about. But he brought up the canons and that website One Heaven, which I don't exactly know what that's all about. And the fact that we're slaves, we're chattel, we're free range slaves, yeah. I get caught. Oh, great. I just spilled my lemonade. Oh, all over my paperwork for the DMV. Good thing I had it sealed. Okay, whoops. I spilled my lemonade on the DMV complaint record stuff. Darn it. I can't even just point my finger in. There's so much stuff in here, I can't deal. I was pointing at how cute my dog was, but geesh, I can't even point with my finger. My goodness. I get an avalanche. All my stuff falls all over the place. Yeah. This is probably a good idea why you should put your, you know, your paperwork, put them in plastic bags. I've been keeping files of my paperwork, by the way. I mean, normally I keep them in like this type of a thing. And they just throw it in here and then put it in a cabinet. But I've been having so many things that I just been keeping them all in here. Like these are all Ziploc bags of every little thing I've been going over and doing. Like I called the Securities and Exchange today, try to find out, hey, what up with that whistleblowing that I'm doing on SCE, you know, the Edison company. And he's like, okay, you don't get your $1 million until we go to a lawsuit. And I'm like, well, who would be doing the lawsuit? Me? Just saying. Because until they get convicted in court, and that's when you get your $1 million. I'm like, are you kidding me? He's like, filling all this stuff for no reason. It's ridiculous. Anyways, I asked him about the birth certificate too, because I was talking to the guy at the SEC. I said, the birth certificate's on bond paper. He goes, we don't deal with that. I'm like, what are you talking about? I think you do. I think it is traded on the New York Stock Exchange. And he's all NASDAQ and all that. And I'm like, yeah, well, trying to ask him some questions. And he just like shooting me down, everything. And I'm thinking, where is the justice? Honestly, you write to the CFOs, you write to the trustees, you send them registered mail. And where is the justice? Whatever happens. I mean, I still have electricity. I haven't paid the bill in like 2 months. They keep threatening to shut it off. It should be off by now, but it's not. So what's the deal? Are they going to put a lien on the name? The indentured servant? The all caps ens legis, the straw man. I guess I'll find out. I guess I'll have to look at my credit score and find out. Or what, LexisNexis or something. Look at how cute. Yeah, I'm gonna watch my finger. Look at how cute she is. She's so cute. I got her a little heating pad and she's loving that heating pad. I got one for myself too, for my bed. And that's the best thing I ever bought. Oh man, I love that. Heated bed. That works. That's working. And she likes it. But I can't even watch. I gotta watch how I use my fingers around here because there's so many things. I mean, I will have an avalanche of paperwork. Look at this. Do you see this? See all this paperwork I got right here? And look at this book, Remedies, Example and Explanations. Of course, I haven't gotten to that because I'm trying to do all this. You see all this crazy stuff? This is a lot of stuff. I mean, this is, you know, my notes. I got to keep my notes. Call the DA to ask to see the magistrate as to not have a multiplicity of suits. Yeah. And I wrote down all the different ones of the multiplicity of suits. Yeah. What does the DA say? The assistant DA says, oh, well, you have to get on the calendar. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I don't want to step into your courts. You guys serve justice and justice is blind. Yeah. And your justice is not justice. It's just us, you guys, just you guys, just you guys. Do you serve just you guys? What? Do you serve just you guys? No, we serve justice. That's exactly what I said. You serve you guys, just us. That's who you serve, yourselves. Just you guys. That's what justice means to you. Yeah, because justice is blind, apparently. And the scales are not even balanced. So, I was just looking to see if there's any type of remedy or relief. And like I said, I was just about to open up my Zoom. And then EEon's thing came up and I thought, I'm going to listen to what he says that. He's so funny, that guy. I'm going to turn this off and I'm going to listen to what else he says. I want to play his whole thing, but you guys can follow him. But it was interesting to see what he had to say.